What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode and installment of the Fight Factory podcast right here on the MyFandom YouTube channel and the MyFandom podcast network. It is your boys, Dave Sturchio, and the return of what looks to be blending in pretty well with that brick on a sun-burnt forehead, Tommy Dee. What's going on, Tommy? How you been, buddy?
What's up, buddy? Happy to be back. The vacation was very much needed, but this show is needed more.
Yeah, well, look. Good to have you back. A lot of stuff.
No, it's not. You don't have to lie to them.
No. I listen, and I know this is definitely a different look and feel to the show because Davey Boy got himself.
Can't get fucking. We're all right.
Yeah, you are just. Dude, you're a special kid. It's okay. He's a big dumb animal, isn't he, folks? Listen, we got a lot to cover here. Thursday, where we normally would do the show, Chris obviously has work. Myself is going to the first home game for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. We talked a little bit about that actually last week, a little bit. Me and Payne did. So the schedules didn't work out. So we're working on the old hybrid. Dave's at home in his man cave and Tommy's taking a shit. So we have it all figured out.
Listen, I'm in my man cave too.
All right. Well, is that the porcelain man cave or? Yep, exactly. So if you hear anything drop over the next course of the next,
but I got the bidet. I got the bidet going as we speak.
Wow, right up the cooter. All right, good job. All right, listen, there's a lot to cover. We're coming off, and Tommy, you can admit this before we get over and go nuts about All Out and All In. Yes, All In. That too. Sorry, folks. Before we get to Raw, before we get to all that, I do want to give you guys a shout out to our sponsors who keep the show moving along. Absolute Eyewear. Love you guys getting involved each and every week. Craig and Janine for all your eyeglass needs. Guys, right now, clearly Tommy can't see shit, but if he goes to Absolute Eyewear, which just so happens to be next to the train station in Woodbridge, he'll get free lenses if he was a kid. He's not a kid, so he doesn't get free lenses. But you can go check those guys out as well. Of course, our friends at Super Bird Tequila coming back for another round of fun. I know Tommy Tequila stopped by the office the other day, dropped off some hats. You have some hats. You have a hat waiting for you, Tommy, the Super Bird Tequila hat. You have that, and then you also have
waiting for me though.
No, I took it all. Anyway, I'll take a swig of that tonight, as a matter of fact, because I do have the house to myself, which is very, very nice tonight. Yeah, I know it happens. Listen, she didn't want to put up with me anymore, so she left. Just for the night. Night.
Why do you think I'm doing this from the bathroom?
I guess I can't wait for your son to start knocking on the door like, Dad, I gotta take a shit. You got
a whole other bathroom.
All right, well then that's Dad's office is now the bathroom. But anyway, yes, Superbird Tequila is back for another round of sponsorships. Tommy had a great conversation with the Staten Island Ferry Hawks. They will be the official supplier of tequila of our show, so we're very excited about that. Yeah, breaking news right here. They're finalizing. They're making sure the ink gets dried on the deal, but it seems like to be a go. And of course, all of the other sponsors that have come on board, whether it be Mutts and Pups for all your dog sitting, dog walking needs. Go check out our boy Serge. And there's a whole bunch of RMJ Environomics. We've gone over them a million times. Those guys are great. We really appreciate that. Alliance Orthopedics as the official. I guess if anybody gets hurt on the show, they can go see Alliance Orthopedics. And
nobody's getting hurt on the show. No, not Staten Island.
Especially that. Well, good thing we have the doctor. Good thing we have the doctor on board. And of course, we have to also give a special shout out to Santiago Sports. Like I said, I ran into Tyler over there at New York, the Fanatics Fest thing. That was awesome. He had a booth set up.
Yeah, it looked like he had some fun there.
Yeah, dude, that was a lot of fun. The WWE experience was great. I think I missed Triple H by about 5 seconds. I was very upset about that. Could have met him there. But then I saw Malcolm Muscle and a couple of their friends, and he said, Dave, why don't you just come out as Triple H? And I was like, when is this going to stop? I don't think it's a thing. Every time I have a suit jacket on, all of a sudden, I become Paul Levesque, apparently. I don't know. It's the beard. It's the grays. I don't even know.
That means you got to bick your head now.
Yeah, listen, I got an amazing head of hair, so I'm not going to go that route until it's absolutely necessary. So my family has some strong hair genes, at least for me. My brother's got he's thinning out a little bit. My father's thinning out. Not me. I'm all good.
Good for you.
Including a luxurious beard. That was I would, what the fuck? Mad Cat Beard Care. Love you guys. You're not paying us anymore, but the beard still looks and feels amazing. All right. got all the bills paid. Got that out of the way. Tommy, your knee-jerk reaction on the AEW pay-per-view. I've said it from Jump Street that you could say what you will about everything AEW, whether you're a fan or not a fan. The one thing these guys continue to do is hit home runs on pay-per-views. Do you agree?
Yeah, it was a decent show. Obviously, there's some things that, and that's just with any pay-per-view. But as a whole, it was a good show. I love the full-on embracing heel of Prince Nana and Swerve. You know what they were doing in front of Danielson's kids. It was a little much, but that's great, right? It's a great heel move. But the one thing, that was a takeaway for me, and you can sit there, well, that's a hater moment. No, not really. Mercedes Moné proved she cannot have a match with just anyone. If she doesn't have a match with somebody that has skill, it's going to come off like a plate full of piss.
Can I just say this without being really mean?
Sure.
I don't think she's any good.
Everybody told me I was just a hater. Like, no, I'm not. She needed Charlotte Flair. She needed Bianca. People could sit there and say, well, she had a great match with Nia Jax. I'm like, Nia could work. She was just dangerous. She could work.
At first.
The only one I'll give her is Ronda. That's the only one I'll give her because Ronda was just Ronda. But besides that, her finisher is garbage. That finisher is terrible. Not one person that she's worked with is able to take it. Why? Because it's awkward as fuck. It doesn't look aesthetically pleasing at all. The bank statement was so much better. It was so much better.
I mean, look, again, she's on a massive stage in front of a lot of people every week, not just at the pay-per-view. She's the main, she's making a shit ton of money.
Yeah,
so bravo. Bravo to her.
A lot of people every week.
What? Yeah, well, shut up.
Easy with a lot of people every week. Are we combining a year?
I'm trying to be nice.
I know you are.
I will say that, again, I do envy anybody who's on TV on the regular who makes a living for this shit. That's great. But it's time to double down on a Maria May and double down on a Tony Storm and double down on, the ones that can bring it. You know what I mean? And I think that
fantastic.
It was very good. And again, I don't discredit the people that are doing this. Trust me, I don't ever disrespect anybody. I just don't see the appeal of Mercedes Moné right now. And look, maybe you're right. Maybe she needs a better dancing partner. I don't know. But Britt Baker is really fucking good. So I don't know. I was just trying to be nice.
I know you are.
Just trying.
Everybody says,
not
she's been off. She's had injuries. Okay, well, this is why the importance of house shows or even a performance center comes into play here, because she's been injured and suspended, all blah, 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 blah. What was she doing in the off time? Because it doesn't look like she was honing her craft. So house shows leading up to that maybe could have gotten her ready to go onto that big stage, because that match was god awful. Listen, I understand people have no chemistry, but when you have an actual in-ring general where, listen, and you, who do we just say this to? You could have a match with a broom and we know it's going to come out well, right? Did we not just say this to someone?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what the Ultimate Warrior's greatest wrestling match was ever?
I'm going to assume in the ring with Savage?
No. Ravishing
Hogan?
Rick Rude.
Okay.
Rick Rude.
All right.
Rick Rude carried him that entire match, and it made the whole thing look fantastic. Go back and watch it. The best match Ultimate Warrior's ever had in his entire career, carried by Rick Rude. To me, Sasha's like Ultimate Warrior without that right dance partner, her matches fall flat. Yeah,
Yeah.
they fall flat. The hair and everything. Look at her matches in Japan. She had like one match, then she got hurt. She's just, I don't know. Dude.
Yeah, I mean, look, she doesn't do it for me. She might do it for a lot of other fans, and that's great. It's just not the flavor for me. It's not the flavor for Tommy.
Are terrible.
Yeah, no, the promos are. I don't know if I think she even said this once upon a time. I could be wrong, but she might have even said something like, "Yeah, it's we're not handed a script. We're allowed to just be ourselves." And I'm like, I don't know if that's a great idea. I think it's better if you had a script.
Yeah, but she obviously didn't get the genes that her cousin has to be able to talk and do things on the fly. You would never know that that's Snoop Dogg's cousin because she can't put words together for shit.
I keep forgetting that. Actually, I keep forgetting that. Snoop a loop. All right. So besides her, some of the I'm not going to go down the whole. I'm not going to go down the whole thing, but I will say, are you ready? Where do you stand on the return of Sting?
I hope it was just a one-off. I hope he's there.
I just hope that Sting doesn't fall down that pitfall like Flair did. Like, oh, this is Sting's final match. No, wait, this is Sting's final match. No, wait, this is Sting. I don't want that to happen. I think him making the save is great, but please don't give me some kind of fucking tag team shit after that.
No, I think
it was an awesome moment. Let's take it to the house.
I think this is just for All In.
I hope so.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Yeah. So that was cool. The casino thing featured somebody very familiar. We had mentioned him in episodes previous. Ricochet made his debut for AEW. It was rumored about, I guess it was like 2 days prior that he had signed. I think Fightful broke that. And which, by the way, I'm done. I don't know if you know this, but I said it last week. I'm kind of done like messing around with like other main media guys. Like I think they're where they are because they've hustled, and whether you like them or not, they're there. Even like a guy like Meltzer, I think he's a dunce, but like he's still hanging around for some odd reason. And there's people out there that worship him. Same thing with Russo. Same thing with fucking your boy, fucking the hell's his name? Cornette. Same thing with and then you have Sean Ross Sapp that some people, they rub him the wrong way. I personally interacted with him at SummerSlam, and I'm like, I pulled the Tommy boy. I'm like, he's not a guy. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't a jerk off. I didn't want to strangle him. When I first saw him, I was like, oh, that motherfucker. Right. But then I got to see him in action and moving around the cabin and just like kind of figuring out what's what and actually doing reporting. And I'm like, he's doing his job. Let him go. But anyway, besides all that, we talked about that Jack Perry with the Sting thing. We talked about, now, to me, this is just a personal opinion. They took the belt off of Swerve too quickly.
I think so.
I loved the run he was on. And just because Bryan Danielson puts his career on the line, I kind of wanted to see that be end. Why couldn't that be your swan song as a loser? We've seen that happen. We've seen it happen with the greatest of all time. To me, is Shawn Michaels. He lost his last match, and that was it. Right? So why, like, are you pro or against the title switch in the main event?
I'm against it because I think Swerve should have had it longer. I'm not saying everybody needs to go on a 3-4 year run here, but I think he should have had it more. I mean, think about his title run. I'm hit or miss with it. His first title defense was against Kyle Fletcher, a Ring of Honor wrestler. Really? So that's like saying Roman Reigns is going to go down to NXT and wrestle the NXT champion, or like I understand what Cody's been doing. He wrestled guys on the main show. I don't know. I don't agree with it at all.
Yeah, we lost Tommy for a second. He just fell off. There he is. Say it again.
I don't think now is the time for his belt to change over.
Speaking of changing belts, we also saw the United States International Championship, whatever the fuck they're calling it at this point. We saw MJF drop it to Will Ospreay. We saw the kangaroo kick make a return. That was cool. But again, you can't go wrong with a Will Ospreay match, to me, because I think he's really, really talented.
Mm-hmm.
They really built this up really good. Like MJF really carried his weight and his part of this. I think his new American shtick was funny. Kind of felt Trump-esque, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know, like just like making America great or whatever.
So now that belt gets a facelift. You know they're going to change that belt again.
Yeah, no, they will. So
to me, that's hokey. That's hokey.
I get it. I get it. You know, it is what it is. The Young Bucks, they won again. I don't know. There's a shock. And again, like there was a couple matches in between all this stuff. Listen, overall, like I said, AEW has done a really, really good job with pay-per-views. The crowd looked great. I saw a video of my boy Anthony Bowens like doing the whole scissor me daddy, like, but there was so many people. Like, I am so proud of those guys for doing their thing in front of all those people on such a big stage in the biggest pay-per-view of the year. They delivered. And I know that there's a lot of AEW fans out there that just couldn't look at this thing as like there's like 15 fucking matches, right? Like, and it's such a long pay-per-view. But when they put these things together, and we always talk about AEW with their lack of storytelling, and you know, they just struggle in that department. I think there was a couple really good send-offs here. I think like the Ricochet debut, which, by the way, Ricochet looks healthy. He looks happy. He looks reserved. Like, he looks like
he doesn't look like
a
he
new
went
guy.
through a windshield of a car.
No, it does not. It does not. It doesn't look like that at all. Sad that there won't be any payoff to that.
He's been having some fun with trolls on Twitter.
Has he?
Past couple days. Because you know, everybody's like, I guess we'll see Ricochet in 3 months jobbing out to this guy, and then Ricochet's like, well, they're paying me, so whatever. And then he's just going at people like, you know, you're gonna make fun of the place that I'm working at. I'm coming at you. I have the time. I'm just like, ooh, this is fun.
This is a fun version of Ricochet. Good for him though, man. Like, yeah, again, I
fits in there, man.
I put out a fucking tweet the other night about the NFL, about like the picture of the guy just like, you know, picking his belly fat lint and saying like, oh, that running back's washed. You know, it's like for anybody to say like, oh, that wrestler sucks. Like, he's at fucking Wembley Stadium. Fuck off, you nerd. You know, like, it's just, I'm sorry. That's just, you don't get that right. You don't get that right. You just don't.
This was a good spot for him because he loves to do the flippy-do stuff, and that's the place for the flippy-do stuff. He'll also get to work with CMLL if they're still going to continue that, which means he gets to go back to Mexico. Do we see Prince Puma return if they go to Mexico for like a one-shot deal? So for the wrestling fan, this is fun for him. You know, did I wish to see him in WWE? Of course, but he hit his ceiling there. He was never going to be a WWE heavyweight champion. He had the Intercontinental title. It didn't really hit. And that happens. It's okay. So did he want to just be a part-time player in, you know, the biggest stage of them all, or possibly be a big-time player? Not just doesn't have to be champion, but featured a lot on TV every week, and especially if they do the CMLL stuff, that'll be huge for Mexico. So there's opportunity for him there. So good for him. Do not take Samantha Irvin with you. That's it.
Please take Samantha Irvin with you. I'm first of all, gloves are off with what these girls have been posting lately. I think it's like, I don't know who gave him the green light, but like, it can't be like Triple H going around saying like, hey, show some ass. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't him. He ain't doing it, you know? So, but I mean, I think it's a little laid back now. You could do whatever you want. It's like, all right, fine. Free the nip while you're at it. Anyway, moving on. We talked about Maria May defeating Toni Storm. Great match. That was awesome.
Remember that storyline? Remember that storyline back in WWE with Mickie James and what's her name? Trish Stratus?
Trish. Yeah.
Same storyline.
I love it. And it holds up. It holds up in today's. This was a
little bit bloodier, though. This was a little bit bloodier.
A little bit. And then, like I said, a couple other matches. And look, kudos again. Bravo to AEW. They killed it out there. A lot of good matches. Again, there's always going to be matches where we're like, I could have went without that one. You know what I mean? Like, but they really did deliver. So bravo to them, and bravo for the announcement of Grand Slam in Australia in 2025, and bravo to them for Forbidden Door at Wembley next year. Forbidden Door at Wembley. Now look, I know the Forbidden Door thing kind of got oversaturated, but that just, it could be a big thing. I don't know, but they're making plans for 2025, which means they're going to pull the Tom Brady and yell, "We're still here." We're still here, right?
Well, listen,
they are.
If they're paying the money for these buildings, so if you have the money to rent the building out, you can do whatever the hell you want with it.
God bless. God bless. All right, moving on to WWE, right? Before we get into anything WWE, we do want to give our, it seems like every other week we're doing this, our thoughts and our prayers to the family of Psycho Sid. He passes away. The last we saw of Sid, he actually tweeted out in July that he would really hope that Triple H puts him in the Hall of Fame one day.
That wasn't real.
What?
That's not his real account. He never had a Twitter.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he should be in the Hall of Fame anyway. But anyway.
That had so many people fooled, including actual rostered wrestlers now. It wasn't really him.
Wow. All right. Well, listen, the only memory I have of meeting Psycho Sid was actually not meeting Psycho Sid. So, no, I met him when I went to Toys R Us Kids World. I met him and Mark Henry in Elizabeth, New Jersey, way back in the day when I was like, I don't know, 10. Whenever Mark Henry debuted. So, like 96. So, I was like 10, 11 years old.
Right after the Olympics.
It was him and Sid, one of the biggest men I've ever met in my life. And then I almost met him in 2011. But he did not show up to the show, and Pat Buck called him and let the crowd talk to his voicemail. that was the only recollection I have of Sid. And then Jay Lethal came out as Psycho Lethal or some shit like that. And he dressed up, or he like flared out his hair, dude. It was so funny. He was just coming out, giving a fist bump. Who's the man? Who's the man? Fist bumping everybody. It was the fucking funniest thing I've ever seen. But yeah, Psycho Sid.
Justin Carino posted pictures of Sid.
Justin Carino has now taken the lead in the head-to-head series with who can promote one match more, me versus Duggan or him versus Sid. I might have seen him versus Sid 1,000 fucking times, and Justin has now taken the lead because I haven't really talked about my match with Hacksaw in a very long time. So congrats, Justin, you win. But that's the only thing he's winning nowadays.
Damn right.
But yeah, Psycho Sid was one of the better big men. Clearly, we do remember some nasty shattering moments for Sid, which was, I can just throw up even thinking about it.
See, now somebody should, I know this is wrong to say, but this is funny. With that video, somebody should have popped up a little JR, like when it snapped. We're live, pal.
Oh yeah, that one too. Can we start over? You know, like, no, we're live, pal. Sid is like he's a national treasure.
He never really did it for me.
No,
I was never like I was always indifferent about him. Like, okay, he was cool, but he just never did it for me.
I fucking hated him because when I was a kid, I thought wrestling was still real, and he was beating up Shawn Michaels, and I was fuck this guy. Huh?
It's not?
Oh, Tommy. We're gonna have to have a talk. As he looks off into the sunset, like, what?
This guy owns
so
the
Psycho
company?
Sid, one of the better big men. Rest in peace, rest in power to the ruler and the master of the world, whatever the hell his catchphrase.
Then we had Alpha the week before that, and then Sika the month before that. Fuck.
And look,
old. That means
Alpha and Sika, like they were old. They were older, right? And they were in their 70s, 80s, right? But like Sid, that kind of worries me. I don't even know. I didn't honestly look up the cause, but I'm assuming I don't even know. I can't even make an assumption. What was it?
Cancer. That's
I didn't know he had cancer.
Sean Ross Sapp had reported after speaking with, I guess, Sid's son.
Oh, I didn't know he had cancer. That sucks.
He was a very private guy. That's the thing. Like,
that's the thing. If that social media wasn't real, then he really was a private guy because nobody would ever see him or hear from him.
So now
but in any event, unfortunately, that's kind of how it plays out. And maybe his son will be, able to induct him or something like that, which would be cool. But yeah, now speaking of WWE, looks like we got Corey Graves back on commentary. I miss you already, Pat McAfee. is what it
What
is.
happened? Because of football? Because of college football?
College game day. Yeah, man. That's going to take up a lot of his time, plus his show. You can only spread yourself so thin. I feel the same way. You know, like I got a lot of shit going on. And today it's 7:10 at night, and I've been sitting up in this man attic since probably 9 o'clock this morning. And I haven't left. I've recorded 3 shows. You know, it's just a lot of shit. But anyway, Raw, we won't cover it match by match, but the big things that come out of Raw, McIntyre, did you see that CM Punk went on Instagram Live from under the ring?
No.
Oh, dude. Bro, all of a sudden, it says like CM Punk is now live. And I'm like, Drew's in the ring. Like, all right. So I clicked on it. It's just dark and you could barely see his face. He's fucking under the ring on live, like on his Instagram Live, just fucking trolling. And I'm like, dude, CM Punk is on another I don't give a fuck level. And it's so refreshing to see how much fun this dude is having. It really is.
Dude, I was never, my feelings on him. I was never a fan of his until very recently. I'm all in.
He turned you. Hey, listen, man. Like I said, he's going to keep delivering good matches. He's got the match coming up at Bash in Berlin, the strap match. I told Payne last week, I was like, strap matches don't do it for me. You know, the whole, like, I feel like we're on Legends of the Hidden Temple where you just got to like hit the gong, like all 4 corners. It's just like, all right, cool. Oh, he's there. And then you just pull him back. It's like, oh, all right, cool. But again, I'm
and
sure
also, this is the opportune moment for trolls to be like, oh, you mean the match that he had with MJF and AEW when he had like the dog collar match? It's like, I wouldn't have went this route. I wouldn't have, but the last time they did the strap match with Drew, I mean, it was okay. Like I said, I think it's too long. They need to shorten it back up the way that it used to be. They make it so much longer. So, like, these guys can go far out of the ring. I kind of think it defeats the purpose, but that's just me.
Yeah. I know we have Braun Breaker on the show right now, so I should probably ask him how he feels about the first 2 triple threat matches. But Jey Uso.
Hey, listen, at least you're right about a triple threat match now. We were wrong about SummerSlam.
Right.
But you're right now.
Right. Yeah, jerk off. You didn't have to bring that up. Jey Uso defeats Karrion Kross and Kofi Kingston. They get to the semifinals now. I guess there's going to be a series of triple threats and then a fatal 4-way just to get the chance to go against Braun Breaker. And to me, bias aside, because I'm a big Braun Breaker guy, I think this whole tournament is meaningless because I don't think they're taking it off of Braun Breaker anytime soon, right? I mean,
no.
It's like, it's really starting to bother me how WWE is starting to like insult the intelligence of the smarter fan or the person that gets it. Like if you're a wrestling fan and you see Randy Orton and Gunther on the card, you're like, oh, Randy has a really good chance. He could become champion. He doesn't. Right. And then you look at the other one, the same thing. Cody Rhodes. I can't believe he's challenging Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is finally going to get it. He's not. Right. So it's like, why is all this predictability, man? I feel like this is like, it's a slap in the face to somebody who actually understands the process. Like these are throwaway matches. They're going to be incredible matches. I'm not even going to pretend that they're going to be anything bad. I just know that like, we know the result. Unless you have some kind of massive surprise return or debut or something along those lines, like what are we doing? What is the point of these title matches at Bash in Berlin?
Brock Lesnar returns to knock out Gunther. I would love that.
Okay. Now you're on somebody. They're gonna fly his ass all the way to fucking Germany.
Why? He could just swim. He's a shark.
No. He F5'd a shark. He's not an actual shark.
It's a perfect way for him to get back in ring shape.
Randy Orton did have a fantastic promo last night. He did. I think he's selling the fight. That's what you do. It's the name of the game. You sell the fight. He's doing that. But again, I don't think there's any world we live in where he wins the fucking thing. So we'll see. What was that?
No, I don't think so either. And speaking of, you mentioned Jey Uso. Did you see Rikishi's comments that he had said on a podcast?
Which podcast?
It was just, I saw a quote, but basically he
from
was
Rikishi.
saying, Rikishi, about his son, that he feels that maybe he's being a little bit disrespected and just becoming the yeet guy, that maybe he needs to go away for a little while. I disagree wholeheartedly.
Bro, he's never been hotter in his entire career.
Maybe they're looking at like he's acting like maybe it's a clown act, but listen, there's a ceiling, right? Tag team championship, maybe, like intercontinental champion, maybe. Besides that, what other thing is there? He's an entertainer. Like he entertains. I don't see it. I really
think we live in a world where Jey Uso can get a world championship match at some point in his career.
Yeah, but not
if he stays this hot, they have no choice. Bro, you see what they do? Like, we went to SmackDown. He's a Raw guy. They brought him on SmackDown. They're making him travel to both shows because he's that over. You know what I mean? Like, that's a big deal.
Maybe U.S.
That's
title.
Bigger payday.
Maybe he's the one who takes the U.S. title off LA Knight. Yeah.
I don't even like that because then that makes LA Knight the heel, and LA Knight's on fire too on SmackDown. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know how they do this, but I disagree with Rikishi. All respect to the big guy, but I don't agree. I think he's white piping hot right now with the crowd. He's probably on top in merchandise sales, you would assume. Sure as shit can't find the hands anywhere. Sorry, Payne. But it's true. Every time I walked up to another stand in Cleveland, I'm like, dude, do you get the fucking hands? And he's like, bro, they were $20. How fast do you think they went? And I was like, yeah, you're right. They're all gone. Like, it's everywhere I went, bro. They had ready for this. This is the cool part of seeing start to finish on a pay-per-view. You're in the pro shops. There's actually one pro shop, and then there was like stands for all the merch. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the night, you're leaving. The pro shop has the OTC shirt already. I was like, you fuckers. I was like, you guys don't even hesitate to wait a second. They were selling that shit out so fast.
Yeah, they were
I really wish I got one.
Entire show.
What?
They were holding on to it the entire show.
Yeah, they had it in the back. Like, yeah, listen, you put this up around 10:30. It's like,
and
what?
Payne, it's called fucking Amazon. Find the damn hands on Amazon.
Oh yeah, no. Last week he talked about how he's gonna make 25 pairs of the Yeet glasses, basically on Etsy, and sell them on eBay.
I've heard that story.
Yeah. So anyway, Randy Orton's promo is good, and then we get to the biggest tidal wave we've ever seen in the course of maybe wrestling. Even my wife was watching, and she's like, that could have been very dangerous. And I was like, yeah.
After his surgery, Strowman agreed to that.
Right.
Don't forget.
Right.
He was like paralyzed in one of his legs because like the whole like neck and back injury that he has. And
then on the ground, he's saying, I can't feel my fingers. And I understand that's probably a work, but is that really the joke you really want to play right now? Like, I can't feel my fingers, bro.
Maybe he really couldn't.
But the scariest part about the entire thing, and obviously we're talking about Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman, the scariest part to me was like the massive man coming off, slamming, the windows blowing out. I get because that happens, but the fucking like the dome light in the car hit like a spark, and I was like, oh my God, the car's gonna explode. I was like, holy shit, this is happening. I was like, you got to get out of there. Get the fucking paramedics. Get whoever. Just get the fuck up out of Dodge because I really think something's about to explode. Like, that's insane to me.
It's about time they're doing this with Bronson Reed. Now, you can attest to this. I've been a Bronson Reed fan from the beginning, even when we did that whole draft thing with He Who Shall Be Not Named. I wanted
There's multiple people from that show. There's multiple people from that show that should not be named.
That's right. I'm not talking about the one that was on our side.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about the other one.
That goober. All right.
I wanted to bring him on our team, and you had said to me, I don't know, man, he just hasn't done it for me yet.
And he hasn't. I mean, dude, up until this point, they lost him. They had him dead to rights, lost in the shuffle, and they brought it out of him. And now he is murking motherfuckers.
All he had to do was murk Seth Rollins. That's it.
You're right. And now the rest of it, and now he even told Miz, he's like, after I'm done with this, I'm coming back after you. Like, and there's nothing stopping the guy. But now here's what leads me to the booking. And now that we are, seasoned bookers, like now that he's going to be in one of those triple threat matches for the Intercontinental Championship, or at least the tournament or whatever, if you want to keep him hot, how do you make him lose? Ever. You need Seth Rollins to come back and cost him or some shit, or like, what do you got to do?
I mean, Seth or Strowman or R-Truth. One of those guys it has to cost him, right? Because
you can't. He can't even be like the odd man out, not getting pinned. If it's a triple threat and he's like on the outside and they pin inside, like that to me, that doesn't even look realistic. You know, you have to just eliminate him from the match completely.
Yeah, but it makes it look realistic if one of them keeps him on the outside, right? Like if one of them come down, they keep him on the outside. Boom, there's the pin in the middle of the ring. Now you've got that set up, you know, for whatever. Because if he takes the pin, you just wardload him. Let's just put it that way. You wardload him. That's what I'm going to refer to that from now on. Every time Wardlow would just be running through people, he'd take that one loss and then just get moved down the bench like Mini-Me. I
don't even think after Goldberg got tased by Scott Hall, I don't think that run was ever the same. To be honest, I really don't. Once you end these undefeated streaks, they're tough. Like, I mean, I know we don't talk about him because he's a psychopath. Same thing happened to Ryback. Once you take that steam out, you don't get it back. That's just it. That's it.
Yeah, no,
because he was beating 3 guys at a time.
You can't figure out what else to do with him. That's what happened with Jade in AEW. They had no plan for when they were going to take that belt off her. None.
I know. And then obviously Pete Dunne gets a win over the Miz and Xavier Woods. He'll be advancing into that fatal 4-way. I like that they're pushing him because he's that damn good. I like that. But now to the main event. How do you think it? I have like both. I have two thoughts about this. The in-ring debut of Uncle Howdy against Chad Gable, and he beats him with the Sister Abigail. Great. That ending was like really, really cool to see because, you know, Bray and the looking up and the Sister Abigail, and that part of it was cool. However, are we in an age of wrestling, Tommy, that this having him wrestle like that in that mask is kind of just corny?
No, because we knew Bray was the Fiend and he was still wrestling in that mask.
Good call. Good call.
You know, it could work. Was it just for the debut that he was doing that and then he's going to wrestle without it? Maybe he does both. Do you have any
trepidations against the rest of the Wyatt Six coming out with no masks or anything like that, just being themselves?
Well, we've already seen the only one that we haven't seen as themselves is what's her nuts.
Sister Abigail or whatever the fuck her name is. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, well, I mean, what her real name is, I can't.
Sure, her.
Yeah,
I forget. I'm drawing a blank. So whatever.
She's the only one that we haven't seen without that clear mask thingy that she's wearing. The rest of them, you know, we saw Eric.
But is it taking away any of the allure? Do you think?
Nah.
No, you're cool with it.
No, they just got to keep doing the problem is after a while the whole paranormal thing's going to get old, right? So this isn't going to be a long run. I'd be shocked if it is, but I don't think it's going to be a long run.
Well, the problem I see is like their debut, they fucking killed people. You know what I mean? Like they like, you know, like that. And I'm on record to say like that was the coolest ending to a Raw I've maybe ever seen. Right? It was on the top
until the crime scene investigator Payne just decided to nitpick every last part.
Yeah,
of it. The blood was spraying here, and then
Payne he's like, he shot through the back of the head. The exit wound is over here. Like whatever.
No, you couldn't even put a tourniquet on that. The guy was dead.
After that, you know, even the vignettes, when they were debut the vignettes, I'm like, yeah, keep this going, keep it going. Then they all debut in the ring, and you come to find out who they are. So now, like, we're not suspending reality. Like, we're being told that's Joe Gacy, that's Dexter Loomis, that's this one, right? So like we're getting that. But I don't know. It's like something about it. Like, I don't expect them to. I don't expect Eric. It's Eric Rowan, right? The big guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't expect Rowan to fucking wrestle in a bunny mask or whatever the hell you wear. I'm well aware, right? But I guess like if you were gonna make it your like entrance gear, cool. I don't know. I'm just so indifferent about it right now, and I really do.
That's very Wyatt family-esque with coming down in the mask, and then they go in there and wrestle. And,
yeah, I guess.
The come off. So I don't
Yeah.
know. Like I said, it's not going to be. You're not going to see this for a very long run, but I'm just going to enjoy it while we have it before it starts to get stale. And it's going to get stale, but for right now, I'm happy with it.
Yeah, it seems like it might head in that direction, but for now, let's enjoy the ride. I think it's very good, and it's it's a lot of fun. And Bo Dallas looked incredible. I think he had a great showing physically, and he still got it, and he's a good wrestler. And I think the coolest thing about him is even when he's getting beat up, he's kind of laughing. It's a very like Mankind-esque, like just kind of what
Just
he
like
used to
Bray.
do, and just like Bray, yeah. So there's a lot of and he dropped the mandible claw. So like that was cool. And shout out to Chad Gable, bro, playing ball for all this. I know you think everybody on the show thinks I just got this hard on for Chad Gable, but the guy can go, man. The guy can go.
Yeah,
he sells his fucking
definitely
balls off.
It's just
He sold that Sister Abigail like he owed it rent. Like that motherfucker.
But
it was amazing.
So here's my problem with Gable, right? You're being sympathetic towards him because of what the Wyatt Six are doing to him, because realistically they're supposed to be the heels, right? But he just went through all that. He just went through all that bullshit with Tozawa and Otis, to where he's kind of the jerk off heel, and so it's like it's weird. It's one of those you can't even make him a tweener, because how? I don't understand. That's what I don't like about this whole thing.
Almost came up with a dad joke there. I was like, yeah, how, D? Anyway, that was Raw in a nutshell. So real quick, before we get out of here, there are some matches that are going down. Bash in Berlin coming up this Saturday. There is a tag team championship match featuring Alba Fire and Dawn against Bianca Belair and Jade. Tommy, does Bianca and Jade get the belts back here?
Nope. This is where I think we see the split.
I was just going to say the same thing. This is kind of weird that we're on the same page again, but yes, I think there's going to be a little tension and we start to see something develop. If not, I don't know if it'll totally implode because there hasn't been any signs of it yet.
No, it's got to be a spark.
Yeah, there's got to be something to start it. And I think it happens in Germany. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, the strap match. So we saw what happened at SummerSlam. McIntyre walks out the winner. Are they just going to even this up at 50 apiece, or how's this going to play out? You would think, right? Unless there's something else that they have in store. Like if Drew McIntyre beats CM Punk for a second time in a gimmick match, it's like, all right, now we really got to move on. Like it's over. Just give him his stupid fucking bracelet back and move the fuck on. Like that's it.
Well, that would be two gimmick matches that CM Punk loses. He lost the dog collar match against MJF, and then he's losing this one here. But my thing is, if he's, you all right?
Yeah, I was just looking at TV.
Oh, all right. I thought you were about to spit the water in the air. It looks like he's starting to play ball more, because what was one of his big arguments on the Colt Cabana podcast? He's like, I know wrestling is fake and wins and losses don't matter, but if I keep losing, my stock goes down. My merch sales go down. If he's losing again, it means he's kind of playing ball, but he's playing ball to the point where he's still winning in merch sales and popularity. If he loses in a good way that he still kind of looks strong and he just doesn't, flat out lose, or if he loses and they do the whole like handshake thing at the end and then CM Punk kicks him in the balls, you know what I mean? Just to show that he's
something
still
to that
Punk.
effect. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I agree.
Other than that, I would just nod it up. But then if you nod it up, that means they got to go one more, right? They need the rubber match.
To me, I think it's a perfect scenario for Bad Blood. Like end it there. One apiece, Bad Blood, Hell in a Cell match, maybe. I don't know, something crazy. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. You know what I mean? So the Terror Twins, which is Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, as Tommy disappears again. The Terror Twins taking on Dominic and Liv. In order for them to move on from this, the Terror Twins would have to win. So I don't know if they're done with this story yet. So I'm thinking, because it's going to lead to another Liv and Rhea match eventually, you would think, right? So I think you got to give this to Liv and Dom.
No.
Nope.
I think they're going to go with the babyface team here. Yep.
Easy enough. All right. Gunther and Randy Orton.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be Priest pinning Dom. It's not going to be. Rhea's not going to.
Yeah, you can't pin the champ. You can't pin the champ right now. That would make no sense. I'm agreeing on that one. Gunther and Randy Orton. We touched on it earlier. I don't think there's a shot in hell that Randy Orton wins this thing, so I'll just give it to Gunther easily.
Poor Randy.
Not easily.
Randy's going to have no chest.
Yeah, play ball though, Randy. It's all good. And of course, Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens for the Universal or whatever the fuck they're calling it now, the WWE Championship, Undisputed Championship. Again, no world do we live in where Kevin Owens. I think this one's going to be a complete kibosh because if you notice, I don't see any bloodline on this pay-per-view. So I got to assume they get involved in that main event and they start fucking with Cody again. And I mean, it would be insane, absolutely insane if they cost Cody the championship. I don't see it, but it would be pretty fucking nuts. It would get some eyebrows raised.
This is one of those matches that where like it twists my stomach that I have to agree with an AEW fan of where's the story? It makes no sense. Like they were just fighting side by side last month against the Bloodline. And I don't understand.
Know it's like
Cody wants to make himself like the fighting champion and give anybody a shot. It's that two heels I could see. Two baby faces, you got one that's really vanilla, and then the other one that's, to me, is just like a novelty act at this point. I don't really see Kevin Owens as being, the Kevin Owens anymore. He's almost like, he's like a tough Sami Zayn in my eyes.
His contract runs up in, I believe, early 2025, so we'll see what happens with Kevin Owens.
He ain't going anywhere.
I don't think so either. But yeah, I don't think there's a scenario where Cody loses. So there's a lot of predictability on this event. I know it's probably still going to be great, or as Tommy would say, it's going to slap. But yeah, I think that I think they're going to be in line for a really good pay-per-view.
Well, now let me ask you this before we get off, right? So let's say the Bloodline intervenes, right? It's even if you don't have Jacob Fatu, you have Tongaloa, and then the other one that can't seem to get anything right.
Tongaloa is not the one.
Tonga's
good. Tongaloa is the one that's just
let's say they interfere, and Cody and KO, they beat them up, and the crowd goes nuts. Didn't you just waste the main event?
Yeah,
that's a random SmackDown ending.
I think again, I'm telling you, this Bash in Berlin. It's like Germany was like, please come here. I don't give a fuck what you do. Just please come here. I'm like, oh, okay. You got it. Here's a card. Hey, no. You like McIntyre? No, he's fine. Gunther? Yeah, he's our champ. We're bringing him too. You know what I mean? Like, they're just throwing this shit together.
Well, of course they like Gunther. It's Berlin.
Well, yes. I'm saying, like, they have to bring the home field advantage and shit. Like, again, I don't ever knock WWE for what they do. I'm sure there's a rhyme and a reason behind everything, but this does seem like, hey, it's the end of August. Let's just get through this so we get the Survivor Series so we can start this Bloodline shit all over again. Yep. That's what I think. So, in any event, listen, guys, tickets on sale right now for KnuckleBRAWL in Staten Island. It is less than a month away. It is on September the 21st in Staten Island at the home of the Ferry Hawks. It's the Staten Island University Hospital Community Ballpark. Tickets on sale at ferryhawks.com. We got ourselves a great main event. Stack card. I think it really shaped out really well. 7 matches again, just like our first event. I haven't looked at any weather, and I'm sticking to it. Don't give a shit. If it rains, guess what? There's a rain delay, just like a baseball game, and we'll just fucking, it's not sand. It's actually all AstroTurf, apparently, or that field turf shit. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you. Me and Payne already discussed your role for the night. Don't worry, you're in good hands. Meaning you don't have to do shit other than sit in the sound box with the fucking DJ and make sure he plays all the right music. It'll be nice and easy for you, and you get a bird's eye view. Yeah, but this time you're up in the press box, I think, and you just get to watch the entire shit from the top. So that's where the sound shit is. Well, listen, man. Last time you wore boots on the ground, you almost lost your boots. All right, so you almost lost a leg and a limb. Well, next time, don't carry so many posts down the goddamn stairs. Anyway, we're not going to get into this. Come check us out. We have Danny Moff defending the Premier Championship against AJ Francis, top dollar. We also have Enzo in there against GKM. We got Homicide against Casey Navarro. The girls are going to crush it. We got the Battle of the Big Men with Wrecking Ball Legursky to take on TJ Marconi. It's a nice card, man. I think at top to bottom, it shaped out to be pretty good. And we'll see how it all shakes out. I think I had a meeting today with a couple of the bigger wigs, and we're trying to, we're going to be there. We're going to take I don't know about Tommy, but we're going to take a trip to the Ferry Hawk Stadium next Wednesday, which is, I believe, I forget the date. Anyway, it's the Wednesday doubleheader. We're going to do a little press event there. We're going to do some, giving out some shit and, kind of hang out and have a good time, and spread some word and awareness about the event. So ferryhawks.com. And that's it. So for Dave Sturchio, Tommy Dee, enjoy Bash in Berlin. Enjoy AEW's first show since All In. I had to look at my notes because I almost forgot.
You always keep wanting to say All Out. That's the next show.
I mean, because that's the next one. Which is what? Is that like on a random Thursday or is it an actual pay-per-view?
Well, I mean, last year All Out is where the fight happened. So
all right. So maybe CM Punk will come back for that. But yeah, that'll do it. Dave Sturchio, Tommy Dee, signing off. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.